Olivia and Andrea Markezich, welcome to the Running Effect podcast. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Doing well. Excited to be here.
Olivia, last podcast, the idea of this episode got brought up, and you were joking that people might not be able to tell the difference between you two, even through your voice. So let's set the record straight. Who is who? So people listening know who's Olivia, who's Andrea. Olivia, you can start out. What is one fun fact about yourself, and state your name so people don't get too confused.
I'm Olivia. I feel like it might be easier now to tell us apart because my voice is a little raspy, but my go-to fun fact recently has been I got a fly stuck in my ear on a run and I had to go to the ER to get it out. So kind of random.
Yeah. I'm Andrea. This is what my voice sounds like. And a fun fact about me is I just had steak for the first time in my life last week.
What?
Yeah. Not a big steak or seafood person, but I'm trying to branch out and develop my palate. So I just tried it for the last time.
The Midwest is changing her.
It is.
So is it just like chicken, or are you vegan, or?
I eat chicken and turkey.
That's so weird.
I know.
Wait, so Olivia, I want to dive into this. How is that possible?
I literally don't know. So we were running on a trail by our house and it was like in the woods and a fly literally just flew straight at my head and like went straight into my ear. And you know that scene in Victorious where like Kat gets a moth stuck in her ear and she like keeps like whacking her ear and screaming and then it's like fine. And then like it'll start buzzing again and she's like whacking her ear. That's like exactly what happened to me. It would like start moving and buzzing and it feels like your whole head is vibrating.
Oh no.
And then Andrea wasn't even helpful at all. She first asked if it was a spider because we're both terrified of spiders. So she was like, is it a spider? I was like, no, a fly flew in my ear. And I was like on the ground trying to shake it out. And then she just starts recording me because she thought it was funny.
At first, I did check in. I was like, wait, is something wrong? And then when she told me a fly was stuck in her ear, I was like, oh, this is funny. So then I pulled out the camera and started recording.
Yeah,
as long as I
knew your help.
Yeah, as long as I knew that everything was fine. I was like, okay, we got to get this on video.
Yeah, and we were like 3 miles away from our car, so I like literally sprinted back to my car. And then we drove to the ER or urgent care, and then got it removed.
The only story even close to that I have, not personally, but I was too young to remember. My mom took us to the zoo growing up, and my oldest brother, he's 5 years older than me, so I don't even know if I was born then, to be honest. He got an ant in his ear, like however that happens, I don't know. He got an ant in his ear, and I guess what they did, so my mom like took him to the bathroom and was trying to figure it out. Like no mom's prepared for that kind of situation. And like by the grace of God, I guess a nurse was in the bathroom at the same time and knew what to do. And I guess what you do for ants specifically, I could be wrong on this, but this is what I was told, is you get a flashlight because they're attracted to light and it'll come out.
Oh my God.
They like see the light. I don't know. That's so cool. I pray to God I never have an ant in my ear. That's just.
I know. That's terrifying. Yeah, but my aunt works at the hospital that we went to. And she was saying that all the nurses were laughing about it because they never see someone my age get something like a bug stuck in their ear. It's usually little kids who are like rolling around in the grass who get stuff stuck in their ears. So that was a little embarrassing.
It's even more weird on a run. Like I feel like the likelihood would go down.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but now I have like PTSD from it because every time a fly goes near my ear on a run, I like freak out.
So you said you're both scared of spiders. Did either of you try to pull a quick one on the other one growing up?
Oh my gosh, no. Like neither of us are going to go near a spider at all. Ever.
Okay, I've gotten a little bit better. So now when we're home, Olivia will have me kill her spiders for her because I can confidently kill them now.
Yeah.
But we're both still terrified.
Yeah.
Are there dangerous animals in Washington? I definitely know South Bend, definitely not. Midwest is pretty chill. But like, do you have poisonous spiders or anything?
We have black widow spiders.
Oh, no.
They're poisonous. I've never seen one, though, but I know they exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then just like coyotes. We have black bears, but those are pretty friendly. So I think that's pretty much it.
Olivia, I remember you telling me that on your break or like over Christmas break, you love to go for like long hikes. And your dad and like Coach Sparks will be like, what are you doing? You're going to get injured. Have you guys ever come across any wild animals or, I don't know, anything on the trail?
Not on hiking trails, surprisingly. I did run into a bear when I was running again. And I was like in a residential area. So it was super weird to see a bear. But I freaked out because it was like a cub, and if the cub's there, then the mama bear is nearby. So you're not supposed to just like run away, but I was too scared, so I just ran the opposite direction.
What did they want you to do? Stay there?
Like if you run away, they say they can chase you. So you're supposed to like get big, like make loud noises, and it won't go near you.
That advice isn't for 422 milers though.
I know, yeah. Yeah, so I just ran away, and then I ended up having to I went a different route home, and I added like 3 miles onto my run, but it was worth it because I didn't want to cross a bear.
Did you guys see the video a few years ago of I think it was in Utah, the guy on the trail with the no, it was a mountain lion. That scared me.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to move to Utah or like one of those random states that's just super beautiful and the trails are amazing. But part of me is like, I'd be so scared. I'd be like checking behind me like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, so Andrea, I don't know if you said this on the podcast. You for sure said it beforehand. You dyed your hair to help the distinction between Olivia and Andrea. When did this happen? When did you dye your hair? And what's that like?
So Olivia told me she wanted me to come to Notre Dame for my 5th year, but she said if I did the same grad school program as her, I would have to dye my hair blonde so our classmates and professors could tell us apart. So I dyed it blonde right when I graduated from UW. Last spring, and then I was blonde the whole summer, and it's just been like growing out a little bit.
It looks good though.
It's definitely,
I like it.
Thanks. It's definitely helped a lot, but our professors still can't tell us apart.
Really?
Yeah. It definitely was helpful for the classmates though. Which, we went to like a super small high school, so I didn't want people to just like not know who they were talking to. It was definitely helpful. And it's not that drastic. It's like subtle and pretty.
And his hair grows back, so it's not that big of a deal.
Wait, so Olivia, were you like, I'm not dyeing my hair blonde, you're the one who has to dye the hair blonde? Or Andrea, were you like, no, you dye your hair blonde?
Well, since I was going to her school.
Yeah, I was like, this is my school. I'm not changing my hair if I don't want to.
It's her territory, so I had to comply with her like rules and regulations.
Yeah. But she's so glad she came.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Wait, so in high school, you guys, same hair color. Why didn't you have that conversation back then? Olivia, why'd you start caring 5th year?
I don't know. I mean, in high school, it's like neither of us wanted to dye our hair. And then I just didn't want to revert back to high school when we were in grad school. Like I wanted to be our own people because we just had 4 years apart of being our own people. And it's like really nice to not be known as the twins or like not like people just in high school, you could tell like they didn't know who they were talking to at times. And so I just didn't want that to happen again. And so I think this was really helpful for us.
Do people have a nickname for you guys, or do they call you just Olivia and Andrea?
I mean, they still
like when you're together.
Yeah, they still refer to us as the twins. Or like we're actually, our grad school has a group chat. Our grad program has a group chat, and they were just talking about like how they saved contact information in their phone like during orientation, and like how people just like totally botched our last names, and people referred to us as like Olivia Mark and Andrew Mark because that's like the easy part. Mark's always been my nickname too throughout college. Like my coach called me Mark since freshman year. So that was just kind of funny that it's easy way to shorten the name.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on this. So Olivia, correct me if I am, but I think NCAA indoors, they still don't have your last name right. I swear I still heard Markezich.
I know. It's really not that hard. Like it just flows through like Markezich. I feel like it's not that complicated.
Yeah, because Andrea, what I normally do with a guest before I hop on, if they have like a last name I'm not like super familiar with, I'll say, sometimes I'll be bold and take a guess at it, but most times I'm like, can you just tell me? Because I don't trust the ESPN announcers. And I think I told you, I was like, it's Markezich, right? And you're like, no, it's Markezich. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Andrea, what's it like watching the races and hearing your last name butchered? Are you like, oh, come on?
I feel like I'm used to it at this point because everyone says Markezich or Markovich, or there's some really weird variations that I've heard.
I think the worst one I got was Marshagek. So, anything better than that is okay.
Yeah. I just do a little giggle and I'm just like, I'm focused on watching Olivia's run and cheering for her. But I think it's funny that they still don't know how to pronounce her name correctly. But maybe one day we'll get there.
What's the country of origin?
It's Croatian.
Croatian.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we probably got into this at some point, Olivia, in our first podcast, but your dad was quite the stud runner himself. I know they didn't have ESPN back then, or probably not, but like
Yeah.
the people around him, did they butcher it as well? Or is this just a Gen Z thing that we can't pronounce last names?
I'm sure they butchered it as well. I've actually never heard Dad tell any stories about that or anything.
Really?
But yeah, it is. I mean, I think the Z just throws people off. I feel like, yeah, people just like they usually say Markovich or something. And I mean, it's fine. You can kind of tell who they're talking about. So it's okay.
Speaking of your dad and how good he was, as both of you started to get more into running as the years went on growing up, when did you like realize that like, oh, our dad was really good at the sport and like, oh, he was a school record holder at Notre Dame? Like what?
Yeah, I always knew he was really good. I mean, like he had an NCAA trophy, and I thought that was so cool because like it was a cross country one. And so then when I got my first one, and it was like the same place as his NCAA trophy, we both got 11th. Then that was just like that was just like the world to me because we had our trophies next to each other, and so he was always like a huge inspiration for me. And yeah, just like hearing how he was a school record holder, I was like, oh my gosh, my dad was really cool.
Yeah, same. I think I always looked up to our dad because I knew he was a really good runner, but honestly, I didn't know how hard it is to get an NCAA trophy in college. And so, honestly, I don't think it was till high school that I knew, like, oh, wow, like he held the school record. He did this well in the NCAA. So, I don't know. Yeah, honestly, I think it's high school I kind of realized how good he actually was.
I know you guys have a brother and a sister. So are there four of you?
Yeah,
And you guys are the youngest?
we are.
Oh, that's so cool. So were your other siblings into running? And what was that kind of progression like of you guys getting into it? Was it just you guys or were your other siblings
Yeah.
into it as well?
So our brother is the oldest, and so he was the first one who got into running. And I think he's also kind of always been like an inspiration for me. And the first time I saw one of his meets, I was in like fourth grade, and he was eighth grade, and we drove down to Oregon for one of his races, and it was just me and my dad. And so that was just like a really cool moment, like kind of the first time where I thought running looked really fun and really cool. Um, and he ran for a year at Furman University. He was actually coached by Coach Neal, who's now at Notre Dame, which is kind of a crazy coincidence. But then, like, because of injuries, he decided to stop after the first year. But he's still, like, so supportive and super into running. So it's really cool to have that to look up to. And then our older sister is the only non-runner, and her whole life, she would kind of say like, "Oh, like I just want to throw up thinking about running. Like running is not her thing at all." She absolutely hated it. She grew up as a dancer and a figure skater, and our mom was a figure skater, so it like kind of works out. Like she followed my mom's footsteps. But then when she graduated college, she started getting into running like half marathons and trail running, and now she's insane. She just like jumps into these like challenges and just does them with no training. She's like a very active person. She'll like rock climb and do a bunch of stuff, but she can't like train for one specific thing. So I think it was Thanksgiving like 2 years ago. She called us and she was like, "Hey, like the Seattle Marathon's in 2 days. Should I sign up for it?" And we were like, "Kira, no, like your longest run is probably like 6 miles. You shouldn't sign up for a marathon in 2 days." And she was like, "Okay, yeah, you're probably right." But she signed up anyway, and she ran it in like 4 hours and 5 minutes. And she was like, "Oh, it was so fun the whole time. Like I was just like petting dogs and talking to people." And so, yeah, that was just like insane.
She
And
also signed up for a 50K race on no training, like the day before the race,
yeah,
and did that. I don't know how she does
and
it.
she did
She's
that
crazy.
like a month or 2 months after she burst her eardrum from scuba diving.
She was in Indonesia scuba diving, burst her eardrum, flew back to the United States, got really sick, and then did the 50K race.
Yeah. And then she did the Wonderland Trail in Washington, which is a 97-mile trail run.
Oh my
She did it.
gosh.
She did it in 3 days, so it's like 33 miles a day. And like people were telling her beforehand, like, "No, you're not going to be able to do this in 3 days." But she was like, "I'm going to try. I'm going to do it." And she did it, which is insane. And it took her months to recover from that. But like, she's just on a different level. She's insane.
She is. But we keep telling her she has to start training for her next adventures or else her body is just going to fall apart in the future.
So when you guys are together for like Thanksgiving, maybe not Thanksgiving because the NCAA schedule is weird, but like Christmas, let's say you're at the dinner table, how much of the conversation surrounds running versus things that just have nothing to do with running? Because it sounds like you all have some sort of a foot in the sport or experiences in the sport. What is the discussion like? Does it normally come up or not really?
It's a lot of running talk, I will say. And even throughout high school, it was a lot of running talk, especially with my brother. And my mom and my sister, my older sister, would get so annoyed at that. They'd be like, okay, let's talk about something else. But now that Cambria's, our older sister, is into like running adventures, she gets more into the conversation too. And my mom, like, she understands it, she gets into it. But yeah, sometimes they're just like, okay, let's talk about something else. It's too much running talk.
Mom's a good sport putting up with all the running talk, for sure.
Figure skating, though, that's kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, she was legit too. She got like the bronze medal at the World University Games in Italy. So, yeah.
Quite the accomplished family. So is it split then on like the summer and winter Olympics? Your mom's way more into the winter Olympics and everyone else more into the summer Olympics?
Oh yeah, for sure. My mom will like always have figure skating on, and it's a really cool sport to watch. We love watching it. And my dad's been getting super into it too. But yeah, then all of like my dad and us, we love watching the Summer Olympics more. My mom doesn't care about that as much.
Hey, she might if you make the team.
Yeah,
she'll have to at that point. So
Yeah.
figure skating, I have to ask you guys, I love watching it too. Like it's hard not to admire it because it's just like, I can't even imagine. Like every time I've tried going skating, I'm like falling every 2 seconds. I'm like, I don't know how they're doing like 700, spins in the air. It's unbelievable. But what I never understand is the scoring. Makes zero sense to me. Do you guys get that? Or are you like me and you're just watching, you're like, I don't know what's going on. They look good to me.
I have no idea what the scoring is. I'm sure my mom has tried to explain it, but I just like look at the pretty routines and I'm like, oh, I like their outfit.
Yeah.
And, like, the tricks are really cool, but that's it.
Your dad was obviously a runner. Your mom was a figure skater. Your 2 older siblings are now, or your brother was really into competitive running. Your sister now getting into running. Growing up for you guys as the youngest, what was the atmosphere like in terms of competitiveness? Was it like family board game night, everyone's at each other's throats? Or was it the opposite where everyone was pretty chill?
Yeah, I think our family as a whole is very competitive. We play a lot of card games, and that can get ugly over breaks. Sometimes we'll have to like ban card games because it'll just like we'll get angry at each other. But yeah, I mean, growing up, it was always like we would all play together and have fun, but we're also very competitive. But we love it.
Yeah, our family's still very competitive. Over Christmas, our older sister, her Christmas present to our family was an escape room competition. So we split the family in half and we had to break into each other's escape rooms. And that got really heated. There were debates over whether the teams were equal.
Like if people cheated,
Yeah.
like how many hints they got from the person.
Yeah. And then also for our birthdays, Cambria, our older sister, started doing a Jeopardy game about whoever's birthday it was. So it was our dad's birthday in February. So we did a Jeopardy game about our dad. And there were lots of arguments over that as well.
Because also Cambria, she didn't have all the facts right. So it was kind of like you had to like give the answer that Cambria thought was correct. So like if we got the correct answer but Cambria wrote a different answer, it was like there were arguments over who actually got the points, like who if the answer actually counted. So that got heated as well.
Definitely. And then I think also just growing up as identical twins, we made everything a competition. So we're a very competitive family.
Yeah.
So Andrea, you had a super successful career at UW. You decide you want to take a 5th year. Why Notre Dame? And when was the first time you called Olivia and you were like, hey, what are your thoughts on me potentially joining you?
I wasn't totally set on Notre Dame at first. I did look at some other schools as well. I kind of wanted to prioritize the grad school that I was applying to. So I was looking at a few other grad school programs. But honestly, I just couldn't pass up Notre Dame. Our dad went here. Olivia's been here for 4 years, and I've heard her say nothing but good things about the program. And I knew the coach pretty well before committing to Notre Dame. So it really is an opportunity I couldn't pass up. I think Olivia honestly is the one who drew me here because how like it's so special to be teammates with your twin for our final year of eligibility. And that's yeah, wait, go
I was
ahead.
also dropping hints throughout the past like 3 years, like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we like be teammates for one last year?
I think for 3 years she was planting that seed in my mind. So in the back of my mind, I was like, even though I'm looking at other schools, I think I kind of always knew that like, oh, I need to be teammates with my sister for the last year.
What's this year been like for you guys? And do you almost wish there was like a camera crew of sorts documenting it that you could watch back like 20 years from now, just with how special and unique it is? Like Andrea, you were kind of talking there on why you decided like it is such a unique year that you guys will never get again.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be really cool just to be able to watch these moments back. It's definitely like I was telling Andrea the other day, like this is the best time of my life when I'm like living with my sister again. Like I don't know if I'll ever be able to live with you. And we're just able to, you know, have our girl chats and like have my emotional support person with me all the time, be able to train together and like run workouts together. It's just so much fun. And it's really great to just have one last year before we move our separate ways and like move to different parts of the country next year.
Yeah, I mean, we are best friends. And even when I was at Washington, we'd talk on the phone almost every day. So it's amazing just being able to actually like do school with you and train with you and just have fun. It's been a very special year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea, you mentioned talking almost every day on the phone. I remember being in Seattle for Brooks PR, and the 3-hour time difference killed me. Like when I was available to call my mom, I was like, she's definitely asleep right now. Was it hard scheduling those calls, or like when you'd call her being like, oh, she's probably in bed right now?
Even though there was a 3-hour time difference, we were on the same schedule.
Yeah, I think we went to bed at the same time.
We went to bed because I had morning practice at Washington. So I would go to bed kind of on the earlier side. And Olivia has afternoon practice and she'd have later classes. So she would go to bed super late and sleep in. So we'd call on the phone probably at like 8 p.m. my time, 11 o'clock her time. And we'd both like talk for an hour, maybe be like, okay, I'm going to start getting ready for bed soon. So we were still on the same schedule, even with the time change.
Yeah. Yeah, it was probably not the best. I would go to bed at like 1 my freshman year.
Talking about this specific year, as we just were off the track and like outside of practice, so running aside, what have been some of your favorite moments and memories together?
I think the number one memory is getting 4th place at cross country nationals with Olivia, because it was the two of us. We were first and second girls on the team, and that was just so special because we did not expect that at all.
Yeah,
that was super unexpected.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of moments off the track.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like fun being able to attend class with her and help each other with homework. That has been like super special. I mean, that sounds really lame, but like it's nice to just be able to have someone to like hold you accountable and like figure stuff out with, because this program has been really hard for us. So it's nice to like have someone to like get through it with. Let's see.
I think spring break was really fun with our classmates because we haven't had the same classmates since high school. So just having like the same group of friends and being able to go on this fun trip together was also really special.
Yeah.
Olivia, I know you're into your coffee. Being in the same class, helping each other with homework, is there a go-to like coffee spot that you guys like to study at?
Oh my gosh, yeah. South Bend actually surprisingly has really good coffee shops, which is something that I did not expect. But our favorite, it's also my dad's favorite, is Cloud Walking Cafe. That has a really good coffee, and it just like feels like Seattle vibe in there, so that it feels really homey. And then we love or Java Cafe. That one's really cute, and that has like good food too. So it's like a good long study spot where you like need lunch too. Yeah, so we have our go-to spots, and our team is a big coffee team, so we like to go to coffee shops together and try new ones.
When you guys walk in and like you go up to order, do they know who you are or like that you're an athlete? Or are you guys the type of people who are like, you'll never see me in Notre Dame gear outside of practice? I just want to be a student.
Yeah, we typically wear just normal clothes. We go incognito from athlete mode.
Andrea, what are some of your favorite spots around town, coffee or not coffee? And how would you compare like what would the wording be? Like the non-school and running aspects of South Bend compared to Seattle? Because obviously like two completely different cities.
Yeah. Okay. First, favorite spots, Cloud Walking, favorite coffee shop. I also really like Sway. There's a restaurant called The Lobber, which has amazing pizza. I think that's one of my favorite restaurants. And honestly, wait, what was your question? Like the scene outside of running?
Yeah, like comparing Seattle to South Bend because they're so different in size and population and just structure.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous coming to South Bend because I thought I would be really bored and there'd be nothing to do because I'm so used to having so many opportunities and so many exciting things going on in the city in Seattle. But I could not have been more wrong. I think it's really the people that make the place, and our grad school friends are amazing and the teammates are amazing. So we're always doing fun things, going out to restaurants together, going to movies together, having little reality TV watch parties at our house or something. So we've definitely been busy with a lot of fun activities. So it's been a good transition for sure.
And you always say the vibe in South Bend is a lot less chaotic.
I've been loving the Midwestern vibe. Yeah. I think Seattle, everyone's a little bit, always just seems a little bit stressed out and grumpy. And here people just seem like more relaxed and a little bit happier. So it's been a good vibe for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely did not coin this word, but I heard a friend once say like a few months ago, like they were talking about a person and they were like, they're a chiller. And I don't quite know how you define the word chiller, but that's how to describe everyone in the Midwest. They're all chillers.
Yeah, like everybody will just say hi to you on the street and it's really nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
I remember in high school, I would play this game with my teammates because we'd run at Metro Parks. That's the other thing. Midwest park scene, amazing. Like we don't have the national parks and stuff, but at least in Ohio, great park scene. So what we would do is every time we'd pass someone, we'd say morning and we would calculate what percent of mornings we got back. So we'd be like 22 for 25 or whatever. And it was just like, here's how you get through 8 miles and 90% humidity. And I will say most of the time, the morning scale way higher than it would be if it was on the West Coast.
That's the first thing I noticed when I came here. Because in Seattle, if I'm running on the Burt Gilman, like a lot of people are riding their bikes commuting to work. And so they'll yell at you to get out of the way. They'll be like, move, I'm trying to like bike here. But in my first run in South Bend, I was running along a river and everyone I saw was like, good morning. And I was like, oh my gosh, people are friendly here. It's crazy.
I know you guys do a lot of runs and I think specifically workouts around, what is it? St. Joseph or St. Mary?
St. Mary's Lake.
Okay. Yeah, St. Mary's Lake.
Yeah.
How many people are like walking around? I've never been, so I don't really know exactly what it's like, but how many people are like walking around or using it at the same time you guys are? And is that ever like a problem of like, okay, you're about to get trampled by like a group of 10 people running 5-minute pace, like move out of the way?
Yeah, it definitely can get really busy in the afternoons, but like we'll just say like on your left, and usually people are pretty good about like moving out of the way. And like we'll try to be, considerate of them, and like if we can go around them, then we'll do that. So it gets a little hectic, but it's not too bad. Yeah.
Andrea, you mentioned 4th place at nationals as a team, how special that was, also being an All-American. Olivia took me through the adventure the previous week, but I didn't get to talk to the person who started it. So take me through your experience with the norovirus.
So Olivia got sick first, and
did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I maybe mixed it up. Okay, I apologize for the hate there.
No, but Andrea's was like bad. Like she threw up way more times than I did.
Right.
It was not fun. So Olivia got sick first, and when she got sick, I immediately was freaking out. I was like, our team needs her, like first of all, and also like she can run really well at this meet. We got to get her healthy. So I was just focusing on like doing whatever I could to help her get healthy again. And so I was freaking out. And then finally she started to feel better and got healthy. And I think it was like 4 days before the race, I started puking. And I was like, oh gosh, this is not good. And then Olivia returned the favor. She was taking care of me. She was doing my homework. And
I wasn't doing her homework. I was just like helping her out.
Yeah, helping us out.
Intentionally vague, just in case someone listens.
And honestly, I didn't think I'd be able to race because I felt so bad. I got sick on Tuesday and we were supposed to leave for nationals on Wednesday. And I didn't think I was going to be able to go on that flight. So I was like, you know what? They can do it without me. They're going to be just fine. But
I was like, no way, we need her.
Yeah,
she's going.
But then somehow on Wednesday, I was convinced to get on the plane. So I got on the plane and it was not fun. I felt very nauseous. My head hurt for days. I just felt so fatigued. My body was like, both of our bodies were just completely drained of energy. But I kind of just lined up next to Olivia. We intentionally like lined up next to each other so we could go through this experience together. And I was like, okay, well, no matter what happens, I'm just going to see what I can do, put my best foot forward, try to do the most I can do for the team and not give up. And it ended up working out well.
Olivia, so Andrew, you probably don't know this, but I talked to Olivia. She shared the whole story and like the whole tale of NCAA 2023. And then when I got back from Christmas and I was in Austin, I got just nailed with sickness. And after like researching it, I'm pretty confident it was the norovirus. When I say I've never experienced something that bad, I mean, nothing even compares to how miserable I was. Just miserable. So I was like, the only person I know who's actually gone through this is Olivia. Specifically, like I was trying to like train for a 5K. And so I was like, I'm curious to hear her progression back into running. So I texted Olivia. Olivia gets back to me and sends me, and again, we talked about it on the podcast, but I didn't realize the extent to which you were running through this. So Olivia sends me this detailed response of what she did while being sick. And I'm just reading on my phone and my jaw drops. I'm like, I don't know if I have it worse, but I'm guessing we had it just as bad and Olivia's just way tougher than I am. And so I called my parents probably to complain about how sick I was later that day. And they don't really know any names in running. But like, yeah, so they don't really follow it. So I explained who Olivia was, and I was like, here's what she's done. Crazy good runner. I've had her on the podcast. Great person. And I'm just like, I'm going to read you what she texted me verbatim. And my mom was like, there's what? Like, she's crazy for doing that. Like my mom like could not believe it. She's like, she ran how many miles the day she got sick? I'm like, I have no clue how. Like if I tried, I couldn't. So
yeah, it was so brutal. I hated every step.
Yeah, I have no clue how she did it either. I like when we finished the race, I didn't know what place she got, and when she told me third, like I freaked out because I'm like, how on earth did you accomplish that after how sick you just were?
Yeah, I
because
don't know.
Genuinely, when I was sick, I don't know about you, but when I was sick, that was probably the most painful night of my life.
Mine too.
Yeah, it sucked so much, but I think it made the race feel a little bit better because when I was racing, I was like, okay, no matter how much this race hurts, as long it's not going to hurt as much as
nothing can hurt as much as that night.
Yeah, nothing's going to hurt as much as that night puking. So
that is true.
It made the race feel a little bit less painful.
Maybe this is TMI, but this is at least my opinion. When I throw up a food, I have no interest in eating it for like the next month. Are you guys the same?
Yeah. So, okay, Andrea mentioned her favorite restaurant was Lauber, and that was what I ate the night before I got sick, or the night I got sick. And I haven't gone back to the Lauber since, and I don't think I'll ever go back to the Lauber.
Really?
Even though it's like my favorite pizza, like I can't go back there.
Yeah. And I had sweet potato fries the night I got sick, and I can't eat them anymore.
It's a thing.
Like the sight of them makes me want to throw up.
It's a thing. I'm telling you. So Andrea, you kind of have this historic race. If I'm not mistaken, it's your first All-American. You help your team place fourth, second on the team. How are you able to do it while being absolutely sick? Like Olivia, I remember in our podcast, you said like that Andrea's head hurt like even the day before and was just like getting through pre-race. How in the world do you place top 40? It's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, that was the goal going into it. I knew it was something I was capable of, but honestly, the top 100 people in that race was probably knew they were capable of being All-American. So I had no idea what place I was in throughout the race. I knew I was somewhere around 40th. And like with 2K to go, someone yelled at me saying that I'm like 42nd or something. And I knew I had to either make a decision. I had to either lean in or I could give up. And it's a really hard decision to make in the moment, but I was just thinking back to my coaches, my Washington coach and my Notre Dame coach, who both are like, you have to lean into the pain and kind of embrace the suck. And so I chose to do that and just see what I could accomplish and try to kick. And I ended up being top 40, which was crazy. I didn't know when I crossed the finish line, I didn't know what place I was in. So Olivia immediately went to go find the results so she could tell me what place I was. And our other teammate, Strez, was also cracked into the top 40 as well, which is so exciting because that was both one of our main goals for the season.
Yeah, that was a really special moment telling you guys. And we all like freaked out. And I think all of us were crying.
We were all crying.
Yeah.
So with both of you being sick, and going into the race, was Coach Sparks, like, was he sweating? Was he an absolute mess, or did he keep his cool?
Oh yeah. Well, so he keeps his cool around you, but like our Katie Thronson was on the team last year. She's like our assistant coach now. She was telling me like Sparks was so nervous. He was freaking out, especially when Andrea got sick too. And like when I got sick at first as well, and I like couldn't show up to long run that Sunday. And he like was doing everything he could do. He like brought anti-nausea medicine over to her house so like Andrea could take that. But he keeps it calm around us. He doesn't show a lot of emotion, which is helpful for us. But like he's internally freaking out.
Yeah, we've been told that like Katie and our assistant coach Emily Hosier said that they have never seen him as stressed as that week.
Yeah,
but around us, he definitely seems calm.
Yeah.
Andrea, top 40, you get an All-American trophy. Where are the trophies in the Markezich house right now?
She has hers right here.
It's on my desk.
There you go.
All of our trophies are in our dad's office right now, all of her trophies and everything. But I'm thinking I need to keep my trophies out of our dad's office because my little shelf of trophies looks so minimal compared to her multiple shelves of trophies. So I'm just going to hide mine in my room and we'll keep hers in our dad's office at home.
Yeah. And my dad likes them being in his office, so I'll let him have those.
Yeah, I was going to ask, why don't you have any with you, Olivia? Is it like, will you ever bring them to your, like, if you own a house one day, will you bring them to your house, or are you just like, no, Dad, you can have them?
Maybe eventually. I was actually just talking to my dad about this on the phone because I was like, I don't know. He was like, Olivia, you have too many to bring to your apartment next year. Like, I think I just need to keep him in my office for a little bit longer. And I was like, I think you're right. Like, I can't bring him to an apartment. Like, I don't have space for that. So we'll see. Like, maybe when I get a house, when I'm older, I'll like take him back. But right now, my dad he likes looking at them.
Honestly, he's earned them just as much as her. He raised us, which is no easy feat to raise twins. So he can admire those trophies.
Yeah.
Talking about the future here, Andrea, I'm going to butcher this, but I'm a faithful follower on LinkedIn of yours, and I saw you announced you just took a position. Take me through this, and also the emotion of like, oh, my time in college is coming to an end soon.
Well, first of all, I don't know how we became connections on LinkedIn, but I think we've been connected on LinkedIn even before you interviewed Olivia for the first time.
Really?
Because I've seen your post pop up even before Olivia came on here for the first time. But I love it.
LinkedIn's where it's at. Okay, they got to sponsor our podcast series with each other one day or something.
No, for real. LinkedIn is my most used social media. I love it. But yes, I just accepted a position with Dell Technologies, which is crazy. I can't believe my college experience is coming to an end, but I'm so excited to be in the real world and just start working. And I'm actually moving to Austin, Texas, which
really.
Weren't you just living in Austin?
Yeah. Austin will blow Seattle and South Bend out of the water.
Really?
Good.
Okay.
I'm going to give you all the recommendations because I have them. There's a coffee spot, best coffee in the world.
Okay, I need all the recommendations. I know nothing about the city, so I'm going to need some help from you.
Yeah. Austin, amazing. Were you there for NCAAs or just Olivia?
I was. I went to watch Olivia. I wasn't competing.
Okay.
But it was a really cool city, except I didn't really see any of it because I was just at the track every day and I was working at an internship while I was there. So I'm excited to explore the city once I move there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm proud of her because she's been working so hard for this job and she's been stressing out a ton applying to jobs. So I'm like so glad that she can stop stressing and enjoy her last couple months together. So I'm super happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I'll go on an Austin rant here, as I probably have on different podcasts before. I love Austin in the sense that it has the feels of a big city without the downsides. Like, it's such a cute big city, which sounds weird and corny, but like you don't really get too much traffic. It doesn't really feel like a big city, but also there's like so much to do. Downtown is absolutely stunning, like super beautiful. And then like the running scene there, I've never experienced. I mean, in the summer, you'll experience this. There's a run club every night and like 400 people go to it. And it's like almost overwhelming the amount of runners that go there. And then even like, it's interesting the distinction between it's not just hobby joggers. Like there'll be people ripping on Town Lake, like 20 milers every Saturday. And it's like, you guys are nuts. Town Lake is really cool. The amount of celebrities there, like I had a friend who, if you guys know who Tim Ferriss is, he's a super popular podcaster, him, Rogan, like people will just like come across people. I had a friend who he went to the popular like barbecue spot and he came across Mark Zuckerberg like just sitting there with Meta employees. Yeah.
No way.
That's
So-
crazy. Wow.
That's insane.
I mean, Gabby Thomas, I literally ran into Gabby Thomas. That's how I first like met her at coffee.
God.
Cause the coffee shop I love is her favorite too. She goes there every day. So
That's crazy. Wow.
yeah, it's
I'm gonna
super
be
cool.
camping myself out at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So I feel like there are so many like unique, and then the other interesting thing is it's not Texas at all. Like I never really experienced what I thought Texas was because everyone who moves to Austin didn't grow up there. Like most people I talked to moved to Austin within the past 5 years. Like out of the thousands of people I met or hundreds of people I met, like so few actually were from Austin that it's such an interesting group of people because they all come from different parts of the country and experiences and colleges and backgrounds that it's like just such an interesting group of people. So I'm stoked for you. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Except the heat. The heat sucks in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was brutal when we had NCAAs there.
It was pretty brutal. But yeah, I'm excited. It seems fun. I've heard people compare it to Portland. So I'm sure it will have a similar vibe to Seattle and Portland, but I can't wait to experience it.
So for you, when you graduate high school and your track season's done, are you like, I'm never going to run a step again? Or are you going to be like your oldest sister and like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for a 50K tomorrow?
I love running. I think I'm always going to run. I am considering doing marathons. I think that'd be so fun. Maybe in the future, I'll make the move to triathlons, but I'm always going to run for fun. It is definitely, I mean, any day that you get to run in is a good day. Definitely makes my days a lot happier. So we'll definitely keep running for sure.
Olivia is a little sad to see your sister slowly transition out of the sport and be like, oh, eight
It's
solid
sad.
years together.
I know, yeah, because we've like really been on this journey of running like together for 8 years. Yeah, so it's sad that she's gonna be doing her own thing, but I'm so happy that she's just like blossoming and like flying to a different part of the country. And I can't wait to visit her. I think it's gonna be so fun to visit her. And like we talked about like, oh, what if we just live together next year and she like tries to follow me wherever I go. But no, it's good. It's good that we be our own people and like go to different parts of the country and yeah, just start our lives.
Yeah, I was so close to just following her to whatever city she ends up in and being her roommate there. But I think it's going to be really good for us to be our own people again.
Yeah.
Andrea, what's it been like? Like, of course, Olivia, if you look at her track record, has had awesome years in the NCAA. Olivia, I'm talking about you like you're not here, but I'll continue to do so for the sake of the question. But like, I feel like the past years when she's really popped off. What was it like to see, the past almost year of just incredible success and trajectory from that NCAA win in the steeplechase to fourth at USA's to an amazing cross season to indoor where it seemed like every race she was lights out? What's it been like to see your sister just absolutely crush it?
It is insane. Like, I cannot comprehend how much she's been able to accomplish. It seems like every single year and even every single season, she's making so much progress. And I never pictured her being in this position of considering running professional. So I'm beyond proud of her. When we were in Austin watching her at Outdoor Track Nationals last year, I started sobbing during the last 800 meters of her race because I was like, she's going to win this. Like, I did not think she was capable of this. I don't know what's happening, but I could not be more proud of her. She's such an incredible person. And I think she stays so level-headed throughout all of this because, with how much progress she's been making, there can be a lot of pressure that's put on people in her position, but she's so good at just staying level-headed. She stays so humble, and she's always just putting the team first and thinking about what she can do for our teammates. And so she amazes me every day, not just on her athletic ability, but also on the person that she is.
Olivia, how uncomfortable are you right now?
What?
I said, how uncomfortable are you right now?
I went all uncomfy, but yeah,
I
she's the best. She's the biggest hype woman.
The final track season for both of you kind of in the NCAA final track season, what are the feelings and emotions as we slowly inch closer to the start of it?
It's so bittersweet. It's like there's nothing like running in college and having this college team. And it's so nice to be able to have this one last season. And we're just really trying to soak up every moment and like cherish every moment of it, every practice. And it's super exciting to see like how we can cap off our college careers. But, it's sad to be moving on after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know what else to add to that. That was exactly how I'm feeling too.
Yeah.
In a word, before we close out today's conversation with some listener questions, how would you describe how much you guys have benefited each other, both in running and in life? And for lack of a better way of phrasing it, like the collaborative relationship you guys have of supporting each other, being there for each other. 3 hours apart, you guys are still making time to talk with each other every day. Now as teammates, like helping each other get through the norovirus, helping each other with their schoolwork, all that sort of stuff. What's this process and going through life with each other been like?
I absolutely would not be where I am today without Andrea. Like literally ever since high school, I've been saying this since high school, like I would not be the runner I am today without her pushing me in practice every day since high school. Like we were a part of a really small team, so we were each other's only training partners, but we were so competitive, and our PRs kept going back and forth. And even though we were so competitive, we were each other's biggest supporters, and we were always so happy for each other. And that's just continued throughout all of college, which I'm so thankful for, because not all twins are like that. Twins can get really competitive and it can cause them to grow apart, but we've always remained each other's biggest supporters. And I just really appreciate that. And it's just, she makes me a better person and a better runner, and she pushes me. And so I'm just so thankful for her.
That's so sweet. And same thing for me. I mean, I wouldn't have even become a runner if it weren't for Olivia. I was a rower and I was set on rowing in college. But then Olivia showed me how much fun running is. And
she was jealous I was having more fun with her best friend in high school cross country.
I'm not going to lie, I did have some FOMO. So that's why I joined running. But she's been such a good role model just in the sport. I've always looked up to her, but also just her as a person. Her support isn't incredible. I mean, she is the first person I go to when I need advice on any situation, and we can really talk about absolutely anything together. So I'm so thankful to have a twin. I could not picture life without one.
Okay, guys, listener questions. Let's close out today's conversation. Rachel asked, advice for how not to compare yourself to others, whether it's a sibling or teammate, etc.
Yeah, that's really hard. And it's something that we've struggled with our whole life, just because even if you try not to compare yourself to your twin or to someone else, people always compared us to each other. And we've had a lot of conversations about this, but we keep reminding each other, we're our own people. We can't compare ourselves to anyone or be compared to each other. And you just have to keep reminding yourself that you're on your own journey, and just worry about what you can do and focus on what you can do every day, not what someone else is doing.
Yeah, it does get really frustrating because obviously Olivia is so accomplished, and a lot of people do compare us or have compared us to each other our entire lives. But everyone has their own strengths. So even if she might be a little bit better at running or a lot of it better at running, but I have my own strength as well, and I'm going to lean into those strengths. And no matter what, even if people do compare us, we're always going to support each other in whatever endeavors we do. So just focusing on your own strengths and your own person, and you're setting your own path for yourself.
Love those answers. A question, I'm laughing here. I don't quite have the words for this. Definitely a sprinter listening to the podcast who does not know who you guys are, because the question was how to run more effective 400 meters.
Oh, 400 meters. That's like a sprint. Let's see. I just try to go out hard and not die.
There you go.
Try to keep your form good. Really work that last 100 meters. I'm just thinking back to all my 16 by 400 workouts. I don't know.
Did you guys ever do the 4x4 or open 4?
In high school,
middle school?
Yeah. And I did one open 400. Andrea did an open 400 too, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. I think my PR in the 400, I ran it once, my first season in high school. I think my PR is a 69. So I don't think you'll want advice from me on that topic.
You've probably closed workouts faster than that.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
You're faster than that.
Okay, your sister, we'll point this one to Andrea. I know what she's doing here. Your sister asked, future running goals, would you pursue trail running or marathons?
I'm definitely going to do some marathons. I would love to do trail running.
She's trying to get a trail running partner, Cambria.
Yeah, Cambria she could definitely convince me to join her on the trails. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to get insider info out of you guys here. She asked, have you ever switched places where people didn't notice?
We did once in high school. And oh my gosh. Okay, so she had a field trip that she had to go on to but didn't want to. I had a class discussion in like a cloud computing class, and I didn't want to do that. So we were like, okay, like it's senior year. We've never switched places. Let's just try it just for kicks and giggles. And so I like wrote down some pointers for the class discussion that she could talk about. And then we like changed clothes, switched glasses because we both wore glasses. And I went on her field trip, and I was like sweating bullets because I'm such a rule follower.
We're such goody two shoes.
I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I'm gonna get in such big trouble. And like I couldn't see straight because her prescription is different than mine, so it was like I was stumbling everywhere. But like nobody noticed.
No one noticed. Like we had a classmate that we have known our entire life, and he had no idea.
Yeah.
Like after the class, I was like, "Hey, you know I'm Andrea, right?" And he was like, "Hold up." He had no clue.
Like our friends who were there with us when we switched, like they knew, but nobody else noticed.
Yeah.
Final question from your sister. I don't know if there's underlying incentive to the first part of the question. Who won the family 5Ks when you were kids? And then the second part to her question is, what artist/song do you love running to?
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Because Cambria did one of the first family 5Ks, right?
Yeah.
But then she got out of all the other ones. Okay, I think Cambria definitely won. So every year we would do this Memorial Day 5K with like our whole family, like our grandparents and aunt and uncle and everyone. And so the first year we did it, I walked the whole time because I was running. Andrea, I think, jogged a little bit.
No, I got third place in my age group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody in my family got an age group medal, even my grandparents, except for me, which we laugh at that photo now where everybody has a medal except for me. And I think, Cambria definitely beat us. She won.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she can have that win.
And then the artist song, what artist/song do you love running to?
We love Noah Kahan,
Mm-hmm.
Hosier, just like the chill vibes where it's like you can just like cruise on a run and like have some like chill music flowing.
Yeah. Or if I'm running on a treadmill, I'll specifically listen to only Taylor Swift music. Because I don't know if you heard, but she came out saying that.
Yeah, like how many miles a day?
Yeah, she would like sing her whole
She'd sing the whole 3-hour set list on the treadmill. And so I feel like when I'm on the treadmill listening to Taylor Swift, it's just
do you actually, but I'm not a Taylor Swift hater, but do you actually believe she ran like 75 miles a week?
I feel like she probably walked a lot of it because it's like she has slower songs where she's not like dancing around a lot.
And she said she would walk the slow songs and jog the fast songs. I don't think she's doing 75 miles, but I think
if she's doing 75 miles a week, I'm retiring right now.
Literally.
Olivia, we did discuss this, but I want to ask you again. You said, I'm not even going to try to say his name. Is the debate cleared on how to say Hosier's name?
Okay, Andrew knows best. It's, what is it?
So and I used to call him Hosier, which is as a joke, but I think it's Hosier, and some people do say Hosier.
Oh,
I feel like Hosier is the one I hear most.
So I guess we don't know.
We don't know. Don't ask us.
We should clear this up right now. How do you... There's got to be something on Google. Good old Google. Yeah. Did you listen? He came out with an EP today. Do you listen to it?
Wait, did it come out fully? We've been so excited for the song.
The song, Too Sweet. I will go on record. I think top 3 Hosier song of all time.
Yeah. It's amazing. We've been listening to that 1-minute clip that was released a bit ago.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah, we love it.
Just nonstop.
The whole song, though, unbelievable. Like, I think it's...
We're going to listen to it right after this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I'm going to turn up my phone. If you look it up, it's got the little... People on YouTube can see. It's got the little thing where you can click. Okay, the moment of truth.
Hosier.
So Hosier?
Hosier.
Okay.
Hosier.
We'll go with that.
It's it's like how.z.your. Hosier? Okay. I don't know. I'll stick with Markezich. That one's easier for me.
Yeah.
Okay, a question from my man Levi. He asks, favorite Pixar movie? It's a good question.
Ooh. Oh, that is good.
I'm so bad at knowing which movies are Pixar.
I know.
Really? I actually remember Disney.
Yeah.
If you say it, I'll know.
Monsters, Inc. is Pixar, right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Yeah. I love Monsters, Inc. It's such a cute story. I watched it last summer for the first time in like years. And I was like, I forgot this movie had a storyline. Because as a kid, you like don't follow storylines. I don't know.
And then going off of that, I'm going to say Monsters University. I watched that for the first time recently, and I thought it was really cute.
Okay, I think a lot of people agree with me here. Ratatouille, hands down, best Pixar movie. I'll debate people on that all day, every day.
You know what? I'm going to side with Ratatouille on that one, actually. That's a really good one.
Let's go. Victoria asks, on the food note with Ratatouille, what is the best pasta dish?
I love like pesto pastas or anything with like a lot of Parmesan cheese.
I love cacio e pepe. That has a lot of Parmesan cheese. It's so good. And I'm a huge pepper fan. I put a ton of pepper on everything. So that's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be an inside friend. Will asks, what was your favorite piñata you ever received at state?
Oh my gosh, Will. Shout
out Will, we love you.
He went to a neighboring school in our district, and his team got my team a Dory piñata at state 1 year.
And they wrote their phone numbers on it. We didn't know them we knew of them.
We're like good friends now.
We're good friends now. At the time, we knew of them, but we didn't like know them. And so they wrote their phone numbers and Instagrams on it and hung a piñata, and they filled it up with candy. It was so nice.
Yeah, that was so sweet.
And that was
that's a smooth move.
Yeah, that's some riz. Yeah, guys, take notes.
No, his dad was also teammates with my dad at Notre Dame, which is like a random connection.
Oh, wow. Okay, on the note, using your word, Andrea, Riz, you guys are smart. You guys are Notre Dame students. Did you see that Oxford came out with Riz as their top word of 2023 last year?
I did see that.
That's crazy.
Is it really a word if it's short for charisma?
That's the debate, though. Does it come from charisma or something else?
I don't know. I mean, if Oxford believe it.
Because how people define Riz is like, oh, you've got game, right? But charisma, that's not what charisma means.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I think it has a
maybe people have flipped the meaning. I don't know. But I have heard the charisma thing.
Yeah, I'll believe anything Oxford says. Yeah.
So on the line of Riz, your team is trying to get you guys in deep waters here. Strez asked, who is your running crush? With a little
my gosh. Andreas, she's a bad.
Do you have an answer?
I mean, a track and field crush, Mondo Duplantis. He's a cutie. I don't know. Not a runner, but
isn't he married though?
That's
He's
true.
at least engaged.
Oh, darn it.
Hey, you never know. Crazy things have happened.
You never know. I think Yared Naguse always has to be our running crush. But behind Yared, I would say Bryce Hoppel is my next running crush.
Oh my gosh.
Yared's deep waters, though, because you guys have the Notre Dame connection.
Exactly.
If he's not dating, you could probably make that work. I don't know. This is actually a dating podcast, and we're just setting people up on it. Okay, Strez also asked, if you were to choose a spirit animal for each other, what would it be?
You're gonna hate my answer.
Oh.
But I would say a cat, because you're just like so like posh and like you know what you want and you'll go for it, and like you're so just like put together, and I feel like and like confident. So I don't know. I feel like that. Like cats are kind of like that. We're both allergic to cats. So.
Yeah. No, that's a good answer. That's a good reasoning, though. I'm gonna say you're gonna love my answer. I'm gonna say dolphins.
Okay.
Which is her childhood favorite animal. But dolphins are very intelligent. I think they're like very athletic and good swimmers.
Thank you.
They also are just very playful and like to have a lot of fun. And I feel like that's you.
That's so sweet.
We'll close out with a question. I was going to close out with that one, but I didn't label it as final question. So I have to label this as final question. Andrea, this one's just for you. No name in the username, so I won't say it. They just said, why doesn't Andrea race steeple? We'll end with this.
Oh, so long time ago, back in high school, Olivia and I entered into a steeple race at the Portland Track Festival. I could hurdle the steeples just fine, but when it came to landing in the water pit, I would fall on every single jump because my ankles are so stiff that I would just jam my ankle and fall on every single jump. And so after like 4 laps, my dad was like, just drop out. Yeah. Because it was so sad and pathetic to watch.
She ended up in the medical tent. I have a photo.
Oh, no.
I have ice on my knees and my ankle.
She landed on her knees very hard. The people on YouTube look at this. I have photos of her falling too. I don't know if I can find it. Oh, here it is.
Oh.
That's every single
Every
hurdle,
lap.
every
So you
water
did that
jump.
multiple times, not just once?
Yeah, I fell on 4 laps on the water jump because I was like, okay, next water jump, I'm going to land it. But I did not. So then I just dropped out and I vowed to myself that I would never try steeple again.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, that is a legendary podcast in the books. We figured out how to say Hosier's name, talked about a bunch of random stuff. Appreciate you guys, all you guys are doing for the sport, and really enjoyed today's conversation. Keep crushing it, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
You.